Hello and welcome to Frank's School, 162nd day of the fourth year, first video. Well, where to begin? The plot thickens. I had put that down. I'll see if I can show you what I mean by that. I'm calling this video, it'll be probably DO, Details of, Dr. Louza Henriques Ethnographic Museum in Lausanne. Here's the pamphlet that I got at that museum. This is in English. I think the whole thing's in English. Yeah, the whole thing is in English. It's a little confusing because there's two names given here. It's also called, the same place is also called the Serra de Lausanne Eco Museum. Well, it's developing, I think, is what's going on. In any case, that is in the small town city of Lausanne, an easy drive from Coimbra, but up against the mountain. The Serra means mountain, the mountain of Lausanne. Now, why I say the plot thickens on this trip is because, don't forget Lisbon. And on Lisbon, in that very complicated day when I had finally managed to find the National Ethnology Museum, a Museum of Ethnology in Lisbon, and had found where that collection of artifacts was that I was so taken with 45 years before, or 40 years, whatever. At that museum, as I told you already, I bought a very expensive book, and I came away satisfied, even though I had not seen the artifacts, because I knew they were okay. I knew where they were. And the receptionist there, wonderful, charming woman, gave me the email address of the director. Well, I thought, what's to be lost? I sent him an email from Coimbra, explaining the situation and how delighted I was that I had found where the artifacts were, and I gave him some of the history of my effort to find those artifacts. And he had gotten back to me. I started off in Portuguese, I think. I'm so uncomfortable writing Portuguese. I can read it fine. As long as there's no German in my head, I can speak it fine. But I'm not very comfortable writing it. So I started writing, I think, in Portuguese, but went over to English. He got back to me in English, I think, or Portuguese. It was back and forth. But anyway, I have begun to get a tiger by the tail, in a way I could think. I'm not sure just what to do with this. And I'll tell you more about it. As I say, the plot thickens. But for the moment, let me just limit myself to this museum. We had stopped there earlier after going to Coimbra. On the way to Coimbra, we'd stopped there because I wanted to gather information. I wanted to get information about how to get up into the mountains to the abandoned, or to the schist villages, aldeias do Xisto. And I had gotten that, and at the time I did not appreciate that I was right there beside a wonderful little museum. But anyway, that was a prior stop, short. And then we drove down a river valley to Coimbra, and then back up on this day. Now, I film it from the car. I tried to capture the glory, the beauty of that river valley. I think at one point I said to Thomas, I've been in Switzerland and I haven't seen anything there. I've been many times in Switzerland, and I saw things there that I found were equal in beauty for my purposes, in terms of very steep mountainsides and water. But in any case, I didn't manage to capture it. But that's why I'm filming from the car, trying to get it. But it wasn't the main subject, really. It was just in passing. And then suddenly, in my video, you'll find that I'm in the museum, and I'm filming in the museum. I'm filming a model of a house from up in the mountains. Now, my video is too long. It's 16 minutes long, I think. And I would say watch the beginning of it, and don't try to watch it all unless you are intensely interested in this subject, as I am. I filmed it so long because I didn't want any of it I didn't want me to forget having seen any of it, even if it wasn't that well filmed. The light was a little low, and so the focus not so good, and I had to move it a lot. But I would watch it at least past the model of the house and then a little bit into the museum. But then I would say go to Shirley's video, because Shirley also took, or slideshow, she took pictures, and she does better work in every way. And so there you can see many of the same artifacts. I guess the one other thing I wanted to say is that there is a genuine love there and here. For what? I mean, to spend all that money, to build that building, to take such good care of these objects, a love of, I guess I'll call it rural life. It's the artifacts that we have left of that time, and the time itself, I think. And I use rural life because back in Lisbon, in that museum, they call it the Galerias da Vida Rural, I think is what those, galleries of rural life, I think is what it's called back in Lisbon. Well, as I say, the plot thickens. Wait till you see what happens next. Bye for now.